The Whisper of Forgotten Gods, a tale of the Jade Archipelago. The humid air hung heavy with the scent of frangipani and brine as your rickety sampan bobbed gently on the turquoise waves. You clutched the weathered parchment map in your hand, its edges frayed and damp from countless journeys. It depicted a cluster of uncharted islands, shrouded in myth and legend, collectively known as the Jade Archipelago. According to whispers exchanged in dimly lit taverns and passed down through generations of sailors, the archipelago held secrets lost to time. Whispers spoke of temples adorned with jade, whispering statues imbued with forgotten magic, and a slumbering god whose awakening could reshape the very fabric of reality. Driven by a thirst for adventure and a yearning to unravel the mysteries of the past, you had embarked on this perilous expedition with your most trusted companions, Kaya, the stoic navigator with eyes the color of the storm clouds, and Makoa, the boisterous warrior whose booming laughter echoed across the waves. Days bled into weeks as you navigated treacherous reefs and charted uncharted waters. The map, your sole guide, offered cryptic clues, a crescent moon marking a hidden cove, a pair of crossed swords indicating a treacherous shoal. Kaya, with an uncanny sense of direction honed by years at sea, steered the vessel through perilous straits, while Makoa, perched on the bowsprit, kept a watchful eye for krakens and other mythical beasts said to lurk in these uncharted waters. One sweltering afternoon, as the sun beat down mercilessly, a cry erupted from the crow's nest. Makoa scrambled down, his face alight with excitement. "Land ahoy!" he bellowed, his voice carrying across the shimmering water. Your heart hammered in your chest as you squinted towards the horizon. A cluster of emerald islands emerged from the shimmering haze, their jade-hued peaks shrouded in mist. This was it, the Jade Archipelago. As you drew closer, the islands revealed their magnificence. Waterfalls cascaded down moss-covered cliffs, their spray forming shimmering rainbows in the sunlight. Lush jungles carpeted the slopes, teeming with exotic birds and unseen creatures that rustled in the dense foliage. The first island you landed on was a tapestry of vibrant greens and blues. Strange, bioluminescent flowers bloomed in the twilight, casting an ethereal glow on the jungle floor. As you ventured deeper, the air grew thick with an unsettling silence, broken only by the chirping of unseen insects. The ruins of a long-forgotten civilization emerged from the undergrowth, crumbling towers adorned with intricate carvings, and moss-covered statues depicting figures with elongated ears and piercing green eyes. Kaya, ever the scholar, examined the carvings with a furrowed brow. "These are unlike anything I've ever seen," she murmured, tracing the swirling patterns with her fingertips. The style, it's archaic, predating even the oldest known empires. Makoa, less interested in history and more in treasure, scanned the ruins for any sign of gold or jewels. Finding nothing of value, he grumbled in disappointment. "A whole lot of rocks and not a single shiny bauble," he muttered. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath your feet. A low rumble echoed through the jungle, growing louder with each passing moment. Panic surged through you as you realized the source of the tremor. A colossal stone golem, its moss-covered surface etched with the same symbols as the carvings, was lumbering towards you. A fierce battle ensued. Makoa, wielding his hefty war club, smashed at the golem's legs, while Kaya unleashed a torrent of arcane energy, momentarily stunning the behemoth. You, ever nimble and quick, darted around the creature, searching for a weak point. In the heat of the battle, you noticed a series of glowing jade panels embedded in the golem's chest. A memory flickered in your mind, an inscription you had seen in a dusty tome about forgotten civilizations. It spoke of guardians imbued with the power of jade, protectors programmed to eliminate any trespassers. With a desperate lunge, you focused your will, channeling your energy towards the jade panels. They pulsed with a blinding light, momentarily overloading the golem's internal systems. Seizing the opportunity, Makoa landed a final, crushing blow to its knee, sending the giant crashing to the ground in a heap of stone and moss. Exhausted but exhilarated, you emerged victorious from the battle. The ruins held no immediate treasures, But the encounter with the Jade Guardians solidified your belief in the archipelago's legendary power. Days turned into weeks as you explored the islands, each one revealing a new wonder. A hidden lagoon teeming with bioluminescent fish, a network of subterranean tunnels carved with cryptic murals, and a plateau shrouded in perpetual mist where the air vibrated with an otherworldly energy. It was on this plateau that you stumbled upon your most significant discovery yet. A colossal temple, sculpted entirely from polished jade, shimmered in the ethereal mist. Its smooth surface reflected the sunlight, creating a kaleidoscope of emerald hues that seemed to dance across the landscape. An inscription, etched in a language that vaguely resembled the symbols on the Jade Guardian, adorned the entrance, a language Kaya, with her scholarly background, recognized with a gasp. "The language of the first ones," she breathed, her voice filled with awe. "The mythical civilization that supposedly created this archipelago." These inscriptions seemed to detail a ritual, a ceremony to awaken a slumbering god. A shiver ran down your spine. The whispers in taverns, the legends passed down through generations, suddenly seemed all too real. The very purpose of your journey, a chance encounter with a dusty map, had led you to the precipice of something momentous, something potentially dangerous. Makoa, ever the pragmatist, voiced your shared concern. "Awoken gods are rarely good news," he rumbled, his voice laced with suspicion. "Maybe we should leave this place be?" The weight of the decision pressed heavily upon you. Part of you yearned to turn back, to leave the slumbering god undisturbed. But another part, fueled by curiosity and a thirst for knowledge, craved to unravel the secrets of this ancient civilization. Days blurred into nights as you and Kaya meticulously deciphered the inscription. It spoke of a celestial alignment that would occur on the next full moon, a convergence that would imbue the temple with the power to awaken the slumbering god. The ritual itself required specific artifacts mentioned in the inscription: a jade scepter, said to channel the island's energy, and a vial of moonlight essence collected during the full moon. Armed with this knowledge, you embarked on a frantic search. The jade scepter, you discovered, lay hidden within a treacherous underwater cave guarded by a ferocious kraken. Retrieving it was a perilous ordeal, but with a combination of Makoa's brute strength and your quick thinking, you managed to wrest the scepter from the kraken's grasp. Collecting the moonlight essence proved to be a simpler, yet awe-inspiring, task. As the full moon bathed the Jade Archipelago in an ethereal glow, you ventured to a hidden lagoon where bioluminescent flowers bloomed in abundance. Their luminescence, infused with the moonlight, filled a vial you had fashioned from a smooth piece of jade. The night of the celestial alignment arrived, cloaking the islands in an eerie darkness punctuated only by the soft glow of the full moon. With a mix of trepidation and excitement, you stood before the Jade Temple, the jade scepter clutched tightly in your hand. Kaya, her face etched with worry, chanted the ritual incantations she had painstakingly deciphered from the inscription. As she uttered the final words, a surge of energy crackled through the air. The Jade Temple pulsed with an emerald light, and the ground trembled beneath your feet. A deep, resonating voice boomed from within the temple, shaking you to your very core. The doors of the temple swung open with a thunderous crash, revealing a figure bathed in emerald light. It was a being of pure energy, radiating power and an ancient wisdom that defied comprehension. This was the slumbering god, awakened by your actions. The question now hung heavy in the air. Would it be a benevolent deity or a harbinger of chaos? You had awakened a power far beyond your understanding, and the fate of the Jade Archipelago, and perhaps the world itself, hung in the balance. The emerald light emanating from the awakened god intensified, bathing the entire plateau in an otherworldly glow. The air crackled with raw energy, and the ground vibrated beneath your feet. You, Kaya, and Makoa stood frozen, a mixture of awe and trepidation gripping your hearts. The being spoke, its voice a deep, resonating boom that seemed to echo not just through the air, but within your very souls. "Mortals," it rumbled, its words tinged with an ancient power. "You have disturbed my slumber. Speak, why have you awakened me?" You found your voice surprisingly steady. Stepping forward, you held out the jade scepter, its polished surface reflecting the god's emerald light. "We stumbled upon this place," you explained, your voice echoing in the vast emptiness before the temple. "We sought knowledge, not to disturb your slumber." The god's form shifted, the emerald light coalescing into a vaguely humanoid shape. It studied you for a long moment, its gaze burning into your very essence. "Knowledge," it echoed, the word resonating with a power that seemed to shake the very foundations of the temple. "There is much you do not know, mortals," it continued. "This archipelago, this world, exists on a precarious balance. My slumber guards against a darkness that threatens to consume all." A chill ran down your spine. The whispers in taverns, the legends of a slumbering god, they all held a grain of truth. You had unwittingly become a pawn in a far grander game, a game where the fate of the world hung in the balance. "What darkness do you speak of?" Kaya asked, her voice laced with urgency. "And how can we help?" The god's form flickered, images flashing before your eyes. Monstrous creatures with obsidian scales, their eyes glowing with malevolent fire, and a desolate landscape choked by an unnatural darkness. These were glimpses of the consuming darkness the god held at bay. "The veil between worlds is thin," the god boomed. "The creatures you see, they hunger to break through, to consume this world and plunge it into eternal night. My slumber keeps them at bay, but my power wanes. I require a conduit, a champion, to wield my essence and fight back the encroaching darkness." You exchanged nervous glances. Being a champion for a slumbering god was not exactly what you had planned for your expedition. But the horrific visions you had witnessed left no room for doubt. The darkness was real, and if left unchecked, it would consume everything you held dear. "We can help," you declared, your voice filled with newfound determination. "We will be your champions." The god's form solidified once more. "A bold claim, mortals," it rumbled. "But courage alone is not enough. You must undergo trials, tests of your strength, your resolve, and your ability to wield my essence." A wave of relief washed over you. At least there was a chance to prove yourselves worthy. Turning to Kaya and Makoa, you saw a mixture of fear and determination reflected in their eyes. They understood the gravity of the situation, the weight of the responsibility that now rested upon your shoulders. The god extended a hand, its form shimmering with emerald light. "Then let the trials begin," it boomed. "Prove yourselves worthy, champions, and together we shall face the encroaching darkness." With a surge of emerald energy, the god vanished back into the temple, leaving you, Kaya, and Makoa standing on the threshold of a monumental task. The idyllic islands of the Jade Archipelago no longer held the allure of exploration and adventure. They were now a battleground, a training ground for a fight against a darkness that threatened to consume all existence. The trials that awaited you were shrouded in mystery. But one thing was certain: your quest for knowledge had taken an unexpected turn, and the fate of the world now rested on your shoulders. With newfound resolve and the power of the awakened god coursing through the jade scepter, you stepped into the temple, ready to face whatever challenges awaited. The fate of the Jade Archipelago, and perhaps the world itself, depended on your success. The Jade Temple interior was a labyrinth of twisting corridors and cavernous chambers. The air crackled with a mystical energy, and the walls pulsed with a faint emerald glow emanating from the jade bricks. Following the god's cryptic instructions, you navigated the labyrinth, Kaya's keen sense of direction guiding your way. The first trial awaited you in a vast chamber adorned with intricate murals depicting celestial battles between figures of light and shadows. In the center of the chamber, a shimmering orb of pure energy pulsed with a chaotic rhythm. "You must stabilize the orb," the god's voice boomed through the chamber, echoing off the emerald walls. "Failure will unleash a torrent of chaotic energy, a storm that will weaken the veil and invite the encroaching darkness." Kaya, ever the scholar, recognized the symbols inscribed on the orb. They represented the elements: fire, water, earth, and air. "It's an elemental balance test," she explained, her voice laced with excitement. We need to channel our energy to stabilize the orb's fluctuations. Following Kaya's instructions, you each focused on an element, channeling your inner strength and channeling the faint emerald energy emanating from the Jade Scepter. Makoa, with his connection to the earth, stabilized the ground tremors. Kaya, ever the water mage, soothed the swirling currents of energy. You, with your agility and connection to the wind, calmed the erratic air currents. The orb pulsed in response to your focused efforts, its chaotic rhythm slowing to a steady hum. A wave of relief washed over you as the emerald light steadied, signaling your success in the first trial. The subsequent trials tested your individual skills and pushed you to your limits. Makoa, the warrior, faced a series of illusions, forced to fight spectral opponents that tested his combat prowess and his ability to discern reality from deceit. Kaya, the scholar, found herself deciphering ancient riddles inscribed on jade tablets, unlocking the secrets of forgotten magic needed to empower the scepter. You, the nimble adventurer, faced a series of physical challenges, scaling treacherous emerald cliffs, navigating a labyrinth of shifting corridors, and solving ancient puzzles etched on jade floors. Each trial drained your physical and mental strength, but with each obstacle overcome, your resolve grew stronger, and your understanding of the scepter's power deepened. Finally, after days of grueling trials, you emerged back into the main chamber of the temple. The air crackled with a renewed intensity. The god's presence felt closer, a palpable force within the very fabric of the temple. The final trial stood before you. A massive jade throne, its surface etched with swirling glyphs that pulsed with emerald light. A booming voice echoed through the chamber, the god's voice laced with both anticipation and a hint of caution. The final trial, it roared. Ascend the throne, champion. Embrace my essence. But be warned, its power is overwhelming. It will test the very core of your being. You exchanged a silent glance with Kaya and Makoa. There was no turning back now. Taking a deep breath, you steeled your nerves and approached the jade throne. As you reached out to touch its surface, a surge of emerald energy coursed through you, a raw power that threatened to consume you whole. Visions flooded your mind, the birth of the universe, the creation of the Jade Archipelago, the long and arduous struggle against the encroaching darkness. You felt the god's ancient wisdom flow into you, its power intermingling with your own essence. The pain was agonizing, a searing fire coursing through your veins. But you gritted your teeth, determined to endure. This power, immense and terrifying, was the only hope of protecting your world from the coming darkness. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the pain subsided. Opening your eyes, you saw the world anew, bathed in a vibrant emerald light. The jade scepter hummed with power, a conduit for the god's essence flowing through you. You were no longer just an adventurer, but a champion, a vessel for a god's power. As you stepped down from the jade throne, the god's voice boomed once more. You have succeeded, champion, it echoed. Now, go forth and face the darkness. Remember, you are not alone. My essence flows within you. Together, we shall protect this world. With newfound purpose and a formidable power at your fingertips, you emerged from the Jade Temple. The once idyllic islands of the Jade Archipelago now held a different significance. They were no longer a place of exploration, but a first line of defense against a coming storm. Kaya and Makoa stood beside you, their faces etched with awe and a touch of fear. They had witnessed your ordeal, the raw power that had coursed through you as you became the god's champion. What now? Kaya asked, her voice hushed. The god didn't say where the darkness would strike. You raised the jade scepter, feeling the god's power hum within its smooth surface. Closing your eyes, you focused, channeling the ancient energy. Images flickered in your mind. A desolate wasteland at the archipelago's edge, a swirling vortex in the sky, and grotesque creatures with obsidian scales clawing their way through the portal. The Western Isles, you announced, your voice filled with a newfound authority. The darkness attacks there first. Without further delay, you, Kaya, and Makoa set out. The emerald scepter hummed in your hand, guiding you towards the impending threat. The once familiar landscapes of the Jade Archipelago now felt charged with tension, a sense of foreboding hanging heavy in the air. Reaching the Western Isles, you found a scene of devastation. Crumbling buildings, remnants of a once thriving island community, lay scattered across the volcanic sand. The air hung thick with an unnatural chill, and the vibrant flora and fauna of the archipelago seemed to wither away in the presence of the encroaching darkness. A swirling vortex ripped open the sky, spewing forth the grotesque creatures you had seen in your visions. They were monstrous humanoid figures, their black skin glistening with an oily sheen and their eyes glowing with a malevolent crimson light. These were the harbingers of the consuming darkness, the first wave of the invasion. A wave of fear threatened to drown you, but you steeled your nerves. This was what you had been trained for. Raising the jade scepter high, you focused the god's essence, channeling its emerald power into a blinding beam of light. The beam lanced out, striking the creatures with a deafening roar. Their forms writhed in agony as the emerald light burned into their essence. Some dissolved into wisps of dark smoke, while others shrieked and retreated back through the swirling vortex. Kaya and Makoa, emboldened by your victory, launched into the fray. Kaya unleashed a torrent of arcane energy, her spells crackling with newfound power as the god's essence resonated with her magic. Makoa, wielding his massive war club with a renewed ferocity, smashed into the remaining creatures, his booming war cries echoing across the battlefield. The battle raged on, a desperate struggle against the tide of darkness. You fought with the ferocity of a cornered animal, the god's power coursing through your veins. With each monster you vanquished, you felt a surge of power, a growing mastery over the scepter's immense potential. But the darkness seemed endless. Just as you felt your resolve faltering, a blinding flash ripped across the sky. The swirling vortex shuddered, its edges shimmering precariously. You focused your remaining energy, directing the power of the scepter towards the vortex. With a final, earth-shattering roar, the portal ripped shut, sealing the creatures back into their dark dimension. As the dust settled, a heavy silence descended upon the battlefield. Exhausted but exhilarated, you surveyed the scene. The fallen creatures, the scarred landscape, and the flickering hope that still burned in your heart. The first wave of the darkness had been repelled, but you knew it wouldn't be the last. The god's voice echoed faintly in your mind, a somber warning. This is but a skirmish, champion. The true battle is yet to come. The weight of the responsibility pressed heavily upon you. You were not just an adventurer anymore, but a beacon of hope, the protector of this world against an ever-present threat. Looking towards Kaya and Makoa, their faces etched with determination, you knew you wouldn't face this challenge alone. Together, you stood upon the devastated battlefield, the shattered remnants of the island a stark reminder of the darkness you had faced. But within you burned a flickering ember of hope, a newfound resolve to protect the Jade Archipelago and the world beyond from the encroaching shadows. The battle for the world had begun, and you, the once unassuming adventurer, were its champion. The fate of the world rested in your hand, and the Jade Scepter pulsed with a renewed energy, ready for the battles yet to come. The victory at the Western Isles was a bittersweet one. The once vibrant landscape lay in ruins, a testament to the destructive power of the encroaching darkness. But there was a sense of resolve amongst you, a newfound understanding of the threat you faced. The days that followed were spent in rebuilding. You rallied the scattered survivors of the island community, helping them salvage what they could and tending to the wounded. Kaya, with her knowledge of herbal remedies, proved invaluable, while Makoa's imposing physique dissuaded any potential looters. As you worked, you learned from the survivors. They spoke of whispers, tales passed down through generations, of a prophecy. A champion wielding the power of the Jade God would rise to fight the encroaching darkness. Your arrival, your connection to the Jade Scepter, solidified their belief in the prophecy. The weight of this newfound responsibility grew heavier with each passing day. You yearned to understand the prophecy further, to learn more about the true nature of the darkness and its origins. Kaya, with her scholarly instincts, delved into the ancient texts of the Jade Archipelago, searching for any clues. One evening, as you sat around a crackling campfire, Kaya announced a breakthrough. She had deciphered fragments of a cryptic scroll, fragments that spoke of a hidden library, a repository of ancient knowledge nestled deep within the heart of the archipelago's largest island. The library is said to be guarded by riddles and trials, Kaya explained, her voice filled with excitement. But the answers to our questions about the darkness might lie within its walls. Hope sparked in your eyes. Knowledge was your greatest weapon, and the secrets locked within the library could be the key to defeating the encroaching darkness. Without hesitation, you decided to embark on a new quest, a quest for knowledge that could turn the tide of the coming war. The journey to the library was fraught with danger. The once verdant landscape of the main island now bore the scars of the battle at the Western Isles. Creatures, remnants of the first wave, lurked in the shadows, their crimson eyes a constant threat. Utilizing the Jade Scepter's power, you fended off these attacks, your mastery over its emerald energy growing with each encounter. The trials guarding the library, as foretold by the scroll, were tests of logic and wit. Riddles etched on ancient stone tablets challenged your understanding of the world, while puzzles carved into the very landscape tested your problem-solving skills. Days turned into weeks as you navigated the labyrinthine path towards the hidden library. Kaya, with her sharp mind, proved invaluable in deciphering the riddles. Makoa, with his brute strength, helped you overcome the physical challenges. Together, you were a formidable team, a testament to the bond forged in the fires of battle. Finally, after a grueling journey, you emerged into a hidden valley bathed in an ethereal glow. In the center stood a magnificent structure, its walls built from polished jade, its very essence shimmering with an otherworldly light. This was the hidden library, a treasure trove of knowledge waiting to be unlocked. As you stepped through the library's entrance, a wave of ancient energy washed over you. Towering shelves stretched as far as the eye could see, each one laden with scrolls and tomes bound in aged leather and etched with intricate symbols. The air crackled with a sense of forgotten wisdom, a promise of knowledge waiting to be unearthed. Your search for answers began. Days blurred into weeks as you delved into the ancient texts, deciphering cryptic scripts and piecing together fragments of history. The library held a wealth of knowledge about the Jade Archipelago's creation, the nature of the Jade God, and the ancient struggle against the ever-present darkness. You learned that the darkness was not a mere force of destruction, but a sentient entity, a being of pure malice known as the Devourer. It existed in a void beyond dimensions, constantly seeking to consume worlds and extinguish all light. The Jade God, the protector of the archipelago, was an ancient being tasked with holding the Devourer at bay. The library also revealed a startling truth. You were not the first champion chosen by the Jade God. Throughout history, champions had risen and fallen, each one wielding the Jade Scepter in a valiant attempt to hold back the darkness. Their victories were temporary, and the Devourer's relentless hunger eventually forced the Jade God back into slumber. The weight of this knowledge settled heavily upon you. You were not just a champion, but part of a long line of heroes who had fought and died to protect the world. Their sacrifices fueled your determination, their failures a stark reminder of the immense challenge that lay ahead. Finally, after weeks of tireless research, you stumbled upon a hidden section of the library, a restricted area guarded by powerful enchantments. Here, the scrolls spoke of a desperate measure, a last resort employed by a previous champion in a time of dire need. It was a ritual, a complex and dangerous one, that could potentially sever the Devourer's connection to this world, sealing it back into its own void. The ritual required 3 artifacts, each imbued with immense power and said to be scattered across the archipelago. The first was the heart of the volcano, a blazing gem rumored to be nestled within the fiery core of the archipelago's most active volcano. The second was the tear of the moon, a vial that could capture the first tear shed by the moon goddess during a lunar eclipse, an event that would occur within the next few months. The last was the whisper of the ancients, a petrified fragment of a giant tree said to hold the collective wisdom and power of the archipelago's long-lost civilization. The knowledge of the ritual filled you with both hope and trepidation. It was a chance to end the threat permanently, but the potential dangers were immense. The ritual itself was complex and fraught with peril, and acquiring the artifacts would be no easy feat. You shared your discovery with Kaya and Makoa. The flickering firelight danced in their eyes as they listened, the weight of the information settling on their shoulders. "It's a gamble," Makoa rumbled, his voice laced with concern. "A dangerous one. But it's our only hope," Kaya added, her voice firm despite the tremor in her hand. There was no turning back now. The fate of the world hung in the balance. With a shared determination, you set out to gather the artifacts, embarking on a series of perilous quests that would test your skills and your courage to their very limits. The journey to the volcano was a trial by fire. Scorching heat radiated from the earth, and molten rivers of lava flowed like malevolent serpents. Using the Jade Scepter, you created shields of emerald energy to protect yourselves from the searing heat. Navigating the treacherous landscape, you battled monstrous fire elementals forged from the volcano's molten core. Finally, after days of relentless pursuit, you reached the volcano's fiery heart. There, amidst the molten rock, pulsed the heart of the volcano, a gem radiating an intense heat that threatened to consume you. With a daring maneuver, you utilized the scepter's power to create a surge of solidified jade, crafting a temporary barrier that allowed you to snatch the gem. The quest for the Tear of the Moon was a different kind of challenge. Patience was key as you waited for the lunar eclipse, spending weeks studying ancient texts on celestial alignments. The night of the eclipse arrived, cloaking the archipelago in an ethereal blue light. As the moon dipped into the eclipse's shadow, a single tear, shimmering with an otherworldly glow, rolled down its surface. With a swift and precise movement, you captured the tear in the vial, its moonlight essence pulsing with a soft, ethereal light. The final artifact, the Whisper of the Ancients, proved to be the most elusive. Following cryptic clues hidden within ancient murals, you delved deep into the heart of a forgotten jungle, its dense foliage shrouded in an eerie silence. There, amidst the ruins of a long-lost city, you unearthed a petrified fragment of a giant tree. As you touched its surface, a wave of ancient wisdom and forgotten memories flooded your mind. The Whisper of the Ancients, it seemed, held more than just power. It held the very essence of the archipelago's past. With all three artifacts in hand, you returned to the hidden library, a sense of accomplishment mixed with trepidation gnawing at your heart. The ritual chamber, once hidden, now revealed itself, a vast, circular space etched with glowing glyphs that pulsed with an otherworldly energy. Placing the artifacts at designated points within the circle, you felt a surge of power emanating from them. The heart of the volcano pulsed with a fiery intensity, the tear of the moon shimmered with an ethereal glow, and the whisper of the ancients hummed with an ancient energy. Following the intricate instructions inscribed on the chamber walls, you began the ritual. Chanting ancient words of power, you channeled the combined energy of the Jade Scepter and the three artifacts. The chamber pulsed with a blinding light, the very air crackling with raw magic. The ritual, as the scrolls had warned, was a violent affair. The chamber shuddered, the glyphs contorted, and the air thrummed with an energy that threatened to tear you apart. You gritted your teeth, the knowledge of the Devourer's threat fueling your resolve. Finally, with a deafening roar that shook the very foundations of the library, the ritual reached its climax. A blinding beam of emerald light erupted from the chamber, lancing skyward and piercing the veil between dimensions. A shriek, a sound that defied description, echoed from the tear in reality, a sound that spoke of unimaginable pain and fury. Slowly, the light subsided, leaving behind an eerie silence. The chamber stood empty, the artifacts devoid of their otherworldly glow. You stood there, panting and drained, unsure of whether the ritual had succeeded. Just then, the voice of the Jade God boomed in your mind, a wave of relief washing over you. The tether is severed, it rumbled. The Devourer is cast back into the void. You have done well, champion. Exhaustion threatened to overwhelm you, but a surge of exhilaration coursed through your veins. The world was safe, for now. You had faced the Devourer and emerged victorious. Turning to Kaya and Makoa, you saw a mixture of relief and awe etched on their faces. They had witnessed your struggle, felt the raw power coursing through the chamber. You had not only been a champion, but a beacon of hope, a testament to the strength that resided within all living beings. News of your victory spread like wildfire throughout the archipelago. Survivors emerged from hiding, their faces etched with gratitude. You were hailed as a hero, the savior of their world. But you knew the fight wasn't truly over. The Devourer, though banished, would undoubtedly seek a way back. The darkness, while defeated, would always be a threat. With a newfound sense of purpose, you set about rebuilding the archipelago. Utilizing the knowledge gleaned from the hidden library, you helped communities flourish, their knowledge and skills revitalized. You became a leader, a symbol of hope, and a protector, ever vigilant against the shadows that lurked beyond the veil. The Jade Scepter remained by your side, a constant reminder of your responsibility. The champion's journey, you realized, was never truly over. It was a lifelong quest, a dedication to safeguarding the world from the encroaching darkness. And as long as you stood guard, with the unwavering support of your friends and the power of the Jade God coursing through your veins, the world would be safe. The future stretched before you, vast and uncertain. The weight of responsibility, though lessened, still pressed upon your shoulders. You were a protector, a symbol, and a leader, a mantle you had never sought but one you now embraced fully. Years passed, a period of relative peace and prosperity. The archipelago thrived under your guidance, communities flourishing with the knowledge gleaned from the hidden library. New generations were born, raised on tales of your heroism and the ever-present threat of the Devourer. One crisp morning, as you meditated atop a windswept mountain peak, the Jade Scepter pulsed with an unfamiliar warmth. A jolt of energy surged through you, a cryptic vision flashing in your mind. You saw a desolate wasteland, a swirling vortex in the distance, but unlike before, a single, obsidian spike pierced through the tear in reality, a harbinger of the Devourer's potential return. Your eyes snapped open, heart pounding. The vision was brief but undeniable. The Devourer was stirring, seeking a way back. The peace you had enjoyed was merely a reprieve, a temporary pause in the ongoing battle between light and darkness. Gathering Kaya and Makoa, now seasoned veterans with families of their own, you shared your vision. A grim silence descended upon the group. The years of peace had dulled the edge of their awareness, but the memory of the Devourer's chilling presence remained. "It seems our fight isn't over," Kaya finally said, her voice laced with a steely resolve. "We must prepare," Makoa rumbled, his grip tightening on his massive war hammer. "The next time the Devourer comes, we'll be ready." A newfound determination filled you. The years of peace had not been wasted. The knowledge from the library had been disseminated, new technologies developed, and a generation of warriors trained. The archipelago was far better prepared than it had been before. With renewed purpose, you set about bolstering the archipelago's defenses. Fortifications were strengthened, training regimens intensified, and forgotten knowledge rediscovered. The once peaceful islands buzzed with a quiet activity, a united front preparing for a battle that could very well determine the fate of their world. But you knew military might alone wouldn't be enough. The ritual that severed the Devourer's tether was a powerful tool, but the scrolls in the hidden library hinted at alternative methods, ancient knowledge waiting to be rediscovered. Kaya, with her scholarly passion reignited, delved back into the library's cryptic texts. You, wielding the Jade Scepter, explored uncharted regions of the archipelago, guided by the cryptic visions that pulsed within the ancient artifact. The quest for knowledge became your new mission, a desperate search for a way to permanently vanquish the Devourer. The path ahead was shrouded in uncertainty. The Devourer was a powerful entity, its hunger for destruction seemingly infinite. But you, the once unassuming adventurer, had become a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience. With your loyal companions by your side and the unwavering support of your people, you faced the coming darkness with courage and determination. The fate of the world once again hung in the balance. But this time, You were prepared. The champion's journey continued, a testament to the enduring human spirit and the unwavering fight against the encroaching shadows. The years bled into one another, a relentless tide of training, research, and preparation. The once vibrant hues of the archipelago seemed muted under the ever-present shadow of the potential devourer attack. Despite the looming threat, a spirit of unity resonated throughout the islands. You, the unlikely champion, had become a constant source of inspiration, your unwavering determination a beacon that guided their actions. Kaya, her hair now streaked with silver, emerged from the hidden library with a triumphant glint in her eyes. "I believe I've found it," she declared, her voice trembling with excitement. "An alternative method to banish the devourer, a ritual that requires not just the Jade Scepter, but the combined might of the Jade Guardians." The Jade Guardians, a legend whispered throughout the archipelago's history. Ancient warriors, imbued with the power of the Jade God, said to be the only ones capable of truly defeating the devourer. The scrolls spoke of a hidden trial, a series of challenges scattered across the archipelago, designed to test the strength, courage, and unity of these legendary warriors. Hope, a flickering flame that had threatened to die in the face of relentless preparation, roared back to life. The ritual offered a permanent solution, a chance to sever the devourer's connection to their world for good. But the path wouldn't be easy. Finding the trials, let alone completing them, would be a monumental undertaking. With renewed vigor, you assembled a team. Not just Kaya and Makoa, but others who had emerged as leaders in the years of preparation. There was Anya, a young woman with a natural affinity for elemental magic, her connection to the wind as swift and unpredictable as her movements. Boren, a stoic warrior with an unyielding spirit and a mastery of ancient fighting techniques. And finally, there was Tenzin, a wise elder, his knowledge of the archipelago's history and forgotten lore proving invaluable. Together, you embarked on a new quest, following cryptic clues and deciphering ancient texts. Each trial you faced tested a different aspect of the Jade Guardians' legend. In a scorching desert, you battled creatures of fire, their bodies forged from molten rock. Deep within a network of flooded caverns, you navigated treacherous currents and outsmarted monstrous krakens. Atop a mountain shrouded in perpetual mist, you faced illusions that probed the depths of your resolve, forcing you to confront your deepest fears. With each trial conquered, the bond between you grew stronger. You weren't just a team anymore, but a unit, each member a vital cog in the machine that would ultimately repel the devourer. Anya's swiftness complemented Boren's unwavering defense. Tenzin's wisdom guided your strategies, while Kaya's knowledge of ancient magic unlocked the secrets of the trials. You, the champion, stood at the center, the Jade Scepter a conduit for the Jade God's power, uniting them all. Finally, after months of relentless pursuit, you reached the final trial, a hidden temple nestled within the heart of a dormant volcano. The air crackled with a primal energy, and the very ground trembled beneath your feet. Inside the temple, a single chamber awaited you, its walls adorned with murals depicting epic battles between the Jade Guardians and the Devourer. In the center of the chamber stood a pedestal, and upon it, 5 jade amulets, each pulsating with an otherworldly light. These were the amulets of the Jade Guardians, imbued with the power of the Jade God and essential for the banishment ritual. But claiming them wouldn't be easy. As you reached for the amulets, the chamber walls shimmered, and monstrous guardians, their forms echoing the creatures you had faced in the previous trials, materialized around you. This was the final test, a crucible that would determine your worthiness to wield the power of the Jade Guardians. A fierce battle ensued. The chamber echoed with the clash of steel, the roar of flames, and the crackle of arcane energy. You fought with the desperation of those who knew the stakes, your movements honed by years of training. Anya weaved through the battlefield, a whirlwind of wind and blades, disorienting the enemy. Boren stood firm, an impenetrable wall, his shield deflecting blows that would have shattered lesser warriors. Tenzin, his movements slow but precise, unleashed blasts of energy that sent shockwaves through the chamber. And you, wielding the Jade Scepter, channeled the power of the god, your emerald energy bolstering your allies and weakening your foes. The battle raged on, a symphony of chaos and determination. One by one, the monstrous guardians fell, their forms dissolving into wisps of dark smoke. Exhausted but victorious, you stood panting amidst the remnants of the battle. With trembling hands, each of you claimed a jade amulet, the cool touch of the stone a stark contrast to the heat of the battle. Placing the amulets around your necks, you felt a surge of energy course through you. The chamber pulsed with a newfound light, the murals on the walls seeming to come alive. The Jade Guardians depicted in the murals, once static figures, now appeared to move, their eyes locking with yours in a silent exchange of respect and approval. A booming voice echoed through the chamber, the voice of the Jade God itself. "You have proven yourselves worthy," it rumbled. "The power of the Jade Guardians flows through you. Use it wisely, for the fate of your world rests in your hands." The chamber floor shimmered, and a blinding light engulfed you. When your vision cleared, you found yourselves standing on a desolate plain, the obsidian spike you had seen in your vision looming ominously in the distance. The air crackled with a malevolent energy, a tangible manifestation of the Devourer's presence. A swirling vortex began to tear open the sky, tendrils of darkness reaching out like grasping claws. You and your companions stood resolute, the amulets glowing with an emerald light that pushed back against the encroaching shadows. Kaya, her voice ringing with newfound power, began chanting an ancient verse, the words resonating with the very fabric of reality. Anya, her body a blur of motion, wove a web of wind magic that disrupted the vortex's formation. Borin, his form radiating an aura of unwavering defense, stood firm against the initial onslaught of creatures attempting to crawl through the tear. Tenzin, his eyes closed in deep concentration, unleashed a wave of pure energy that slammed into the vortex, momentarily shrinking its size. You, the champion, stood at the forefront, the jade scepter a beacon of emerald light. Channeling the power of the Jade God and the combined might of the Jade Guardians, you unleashed a blinding beam of energy that struck the obsidian spike. The spike shattered with a deafening crack, and the vortex, its anchor severed, began to shrink rapidly. The Devourer shrieked, a sound that ripped through the very fabric of reality. Its tendrils writhed in agony as the vortex shrank further, its connection to your world severed. With a final, ear-splitting roar, the vortex slammed shut, leaving behind only a faint scar in the sky. Silence descended upon the desolate plain. You and your companions stood panting, the weight of the battle settling upon your shoulders. You had done it. The Devourer had been banished, its threat neutralized for good. The amulets around your necks grew faint, the borrowed power of the Jade Guardians receding. But a newfound feeling of strength and unity filled you. You had faced a seemingly insurmountable challenge and emerged victorious. As the first rays of dawn painted the horizon with streaks of gold and orange, you knew this wasn't the end. The fight for peace was a constant struggle, a never-ending vigil against the encroaching shadows. But you, the once unassuming adventurer, were no longer alone. You were a symbol of hope, a testament to the enduring human spirit, and the leader of a band of heroes who would forever stand guard against the darkness, ensuring that the light of their world would never be extinguished. The victory over the Devourer was met with jubilation across the archipelago. News of your success spread like wildfire, igniting a wave of celebration that echoed from village to village. People poured into the streets, their faces etched with relief and gratitude. You, along with your companions, were hailed as heroes, saviors who had delivered them from the brink of annihilation. Days turned into weeks as the archipelago basked in the afterglow of peace. Festivities were held in your honor, songs sung of your bravery, and tales of your exploits woven into the fabric of their legends. But amidst the celebrations, a quiet resolve settled within you. The Devourer may have been banished, but the scars of its attempted invasion remained. The desolate plain where you had faced the Devourer served as a stark reminder of the threat they had averted. You, along with Kaya, Makoa, Anya, Borin, and Tenzin, spearheaded a monumental effort to revitalize the ravaged landscape. Utilizing forgotten knowledge gleaned from the hidden library and empowered by the lingering essence of the Jade Guardians, you nurtured the barren soil, coaxing life back into the desolate expanse. Years passed, and a verdant forest slowly began to reclaim the once barren plain. A monument was erected at its heart, a towering structure etched with intricate carvings that depicted the final battle and the heroes who had saved their world. It served as a constant reminder of the sacrifices made and the vigilance required to maintain peace. You, no longer just a champion, became a leader, a mentor, and a guiding force for the next generation. Academies were established to train young warriors, instilling in them the skills and knowledge necessary to defend their world. The library became a beacon of learning, its ancient texts meticulously studied and its secrets disseminated for the betterment of all. One crisp morning, as you meditated atop a familiar mountain peak, the jade scepter pulsed once more, a warmth spreading through your hand. A vision flickered in your mind, not of the devourer, but of a distant world, bathed in an alien light, and a civilization struggling against an unseen foe. A faint plea for help echoed through your mind, a plea that resonated with a deep, inexplicable pull. You opened your eyes, a sense of foreboding settling in your gut. The devourer may have been banished, but it seemed the fight for peace wasn't confined to your world alone. A new purpose ignited within you, a responsibility that transcended the boundaries of your archipelago. There were others who needed your help, other worlds teetering on the brink of destruction. Gathering your companions, you shared your vision. A solemn silence filled the room, a weight of understanding settling on their faces. They had dedicated their lives to protecting their world, but now they faced a challenge even greater. "We cannot ignore this plea," Kaya finally spoke, her voice firm despite the tremor in her hand. "The fight for peace is universal." Anya, her eyes blazing with determination, nodded her agreement. "We may not know what awaits us, but we face it together." Boren, his hand tightening around his war hammer, rumbled, "We are the Jade Guardians. We will protect not just our world, but any world in need." Tenzin, his gaze filled with wisdom, spoke last. "The knowledge we have accumulated, the lessons we have learned, they will serve us well beyond the boundaries of our home." You looked at your companions, their faces etched with unwavering resolve. You were no longer just a band of heroes, but a beacon of hope, ready to venture into the vast unknown to defend the innocent and fight for the light that burned brightly across the universe. The jade scepter pulsed in your hand, a promise of adventure and a daunting new chapter in your journey. The fate of countless worlds now rested on your shoulders, and you, the once unassuming adventurer, were prepared to answer the call. The fight for peace had taken on a new dimension, and you, the champion, were ready to lead the charge. The journey beyond your archipelago was unlike anything you'd ever experienced. Stars, once distant pinpricks of light, became swirling galaxies, each one a potential harbor of wonders and threats. The jade scepter, once a familiar weight in your hand, now hummed with a strange energy, acting as a compass and a guide through the uncharted void. The initial travel was a blur of hyperspace jumps and frantic calculations. Kaya, ever the scholar, devoured ancient texts on celestial navigation, deciphering cryptic symbols that spoke of interstellar travel and forgotten gateways. Makoa, his imposing physique now clad in reinforced armor, manned the newly built ship's defenses, his keen senses ever alert for potential dangers. Weeks turned into months as you navigated the cosmic ocean. You encountered otherworldly beings, some friendly, some hostile. You bartered with crystalline merchants who dwelled in nebulae, their voices like tinkling bells, and outsmarted a race of space pirates who wielded stolen technology from a long-dead civilization. Each encounter added to your knowledge, broadening your understanding of the vastness of the universe and the diverse threats it held. Finally, after a harrowing journey, the vision from the Jade Scepter intensified, guiding you towards a war-torn planet. The once verdant world was now a patchwork of scorched plains and smoking ruins. Cities lay in ruins, their metallic skeletons testament to a brutal conflict. A desperate plea for help echoed through the ship's telepathic receiver. It originated from a hidden underground base, the last bastion of a once proud civilization. Their message spoke of an unrelenting enemy, a race of beings of pure energy who sought to consume all life force in the universe. A knot of dread tightened in your stomach. The devourer, though banished from your world, wasn't an isolated entity. There were others, perhaps countless others, like it, preying on unsuspecting worlds. The weight of responsibility on your shoulders grew heavier. Landing the ship amidst the wreckage, you led your companions towards the underground base. There, you were greeted by a holographic projection of a frail but determined leader. They explained that their world, once a beacon of peace and innovation, had been ravaged by the energy beings. Their technology, powerful but ultimately flawed, had attracted the enemy's attention, leaving them defenseless. The leader's eyes pleaded with yours. "We have exhausted all our options," they projected. "Your arrival is our last hope." You listened intently, your mind racing with strategies. This enemy, unlike the devourer, wasn't a physical entity you could strike down with brute force. Anya, with her understanding of elemental manipulation, proposed a method of disrupting the energy being's form. Boren, his knowledge of ancient warfare surprisingly relevant, suggested a tactical approach to lure the enemy into a trap. Kaya, however, proposed a different solution. Poring over salvaged text from the base's library, she discovered a reference to a forgotten technology, a device that could sever the link between a physical world and the energy plane, essentially banishing the invaders back to their own dimension. Hope flickered in your eyes. This could be the answer they were looking for. Building the device, however, would require a rare element only found in the heart of a dying star. A risky, near-suicidal mission. Looking at your companions, their faces etched with determination, you knew what you had to do. "We'll get the element," you declared, your voice filled with unwavering resolve. "And together, we'll drive these energy beings back from whence they came." Your next adventure was about to begin, a daring mission into the heart of a dying star, a desperate gamble to save a world from the clutches of an unseen enemy. The journey ahead would test your courage, your skills, and your very spirit. But you, the champion, were no longer alone. You were a beacon of hope, leading a band of heroes on a quest that could determine the fate of not just one world, but countless others across the vast expanse of the universe. The journey towards the dying star was a harrowing one. The once pristine hull of your ship was now scarred and pitted from close encounters with celestial debris. The constant hum of the engines provided a constant reminder of the immense power required to navigate the treacherous currents of the collapsing star system. Inside the ship, tension crackled in the air. You and your companions understood the gravity of the situation. The fate of an entire civilization rested on your shoulders, and the element they desperately needed resided at the heart of a dying star, a place where even the most resilient materials would crumble under the immense pressure and scorching heat. Kaya, ever the scholar, spent countless hours poring over ancient texts, searching for any shred of information that could aid you on your mission. She discovered a reference to an abandoned prototype, a shielded vessel designed to withstand the harshest stellar environments. The prototype, however, was located on a long-forgotten space station, its location lost to the sands of time. Boren, his gruff exterior masking a surprisingly keen intellect, delved into the ship's engineering systems. With a combination of ingenuity and brute strength, he managed to modify the ship's core, equipping it with temporary shielding that could withstand the star's intense heat for a limited time. Anya, her connection to the elements growing stronger with each passing day, volunteered to pilot the ship through the treacherous debris fields that surrounded the dying star. Her nimble movements and intuitive understanding of celestial winds proved invaluable in navigating the swirling chaos. Makoa, his stoicism a source of strength for the entire crew, volunteered to accompany you on the retrieval mission to the heart of the star. His immense strength and unwavering loyalty made him the perfect companion for such a perilous endeavor. Finally, after days of relentless searching, Kaya's research paid off. A faint distress beacon emanating from a derelict space station pierced the static. With a surge of renewed hope, Anya expertly steered the ship towards the beacon's origin. The space station, a decaying metal carcass drifting through the void, looked more like a coffin than a haven. Docking was a risky maneuver, requiring Anya's piloting skills to be pushed to their very limits. Emerging from the ship, Yu and Makoa, clad in specially designed heat-resistant suits, were greeted by an eerie silence. The station was a tomb, its corridors echoing with the ghosts of its former inhabitants. Following Kaya's instructions, you navigated the labyrinthine corridors, finally reaching a hidden chamber deep within the station's core. There, bathed in an ethereal glow, lay the abandoned prototype, a sleek, wedge-shaped vessel that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Anya, her eyes gleaming with excitement, ran a diagnostic check on the prototype. Miraculously, the core systems were still functional, though barely. There was enough power for one trip, one desperate plunge into the heart of the dying star. With a resolute nod, you and Makoa boarded the prototype. Anya, with a heavy heart, sealed the hatch behind you. Her voice, laced with emotion, crackled through the comm system. "Be careful down there. We'll be waiting for you." You took a deep breath, steeling your nerves. With a final check of the systems, you activated the prototype's shielding and plunged towards the heart of the dying star. The descent was a blur of blinding light and searing heat. The prototype shuddered under the immense pressure, the warning alarms blaring incessantly. Makoa, his grip tight on the control panel, expertly maneuvered the vessel through the inferno. Just as the prototype's shields began to fail, a colossal cavern opened before you, the heart of the dying star. A swirling vortex of superheated plasma pulsed with an otherworldly energy, the source of the element you so desperately needed. Using a specially designed extractor arm, you managed to snag a vial of the volatile element just as the prototype shields gave way. The searing heat licked at the hull, alarms reaching a fever pitch. With a final burst of power, Makoa steered the crippled vessel away from the star's core. The ascent was an agonizingly slow process, the prototype on the verge of disintegration. Just as you broke free of the star's gravitational pull, the prototype sputtered and died, its remaining energy spent. Anya, her voice filled with relief, crackled through the comm system. "We have a visual on you. Hold on tight." With a final burst of ingenuity, Anya managed to use your ship's tractor beam to capture the drifting prototype moments before it was consumed by the dying star's corona. Back aboard your ship, the gravity of the situation settled in. You had the element, but the prototype was a wreck. Exhaustion gnawed at you, a deep, bone-deep weariness that settled in your bones after the ordeal at the heart of the dying star. Despite the fatigue, a flicker of hope danced in your eyes. You had the element, a vial of swirling, volatile energy that pulsed with an otherworldly power, the key to saving a civilization from the clutches of the unseen enemy. Dejection, however, threatened to snuff out that flicker. The prototype, mangled and lifeless, lay inert within the ship's cargo bay. Without a way to reach the heart of the star again and deploy the element, your daring mission seemed destined for failure. Kaya, ever the resourceful one, broke the silence. "The prototype may be beyond repair," she admitted, her voice tinged with disappointment, "but the core technology, it might be salvageable." Her words sparked a flurry of activity within the ship. Boren, his gruff demeanor masking a surprisingly sharp mind, joined Kaya in dissecting the prototype's remains. Together, they meticulously examined the singed wires, warped metal, and flickering power cells. Anya, her nimble fingers dancing across the ship's engineering console, monitored the salvaged components. She fed data streams to Boren and Kaya, highlighting potential areas of reuse and functionality. Makoa, his immense strength a welcome asset, assisted them by carefully extracting the salvageable parts from the prototype's mangled shell. Days bled into nights as the team worked tirelessly. Sleep came in stolen moments, fueled by mugs of energizing concoctions brewed by a surprisingly resourceful Anya. Finally, after countless dead ends and near meltdowns, a breakthrough. Boren emerged from the makeshift workshop, a triumphant glint in his eyes. "We can do it," he rumbled, his voice thick with exhaustion but laced with pride. We can repurpose the core systems and integrate them with our ship's existing structure. Kaya, her face etched with relief, elaborated. It won't be perfect, she admitted, but it should allow us to make one, maybe two trips to the star's core. Enough to deploy the element and hopefully sever the connection between this world and the energy plane. A wave of renewed determination washed over you. This wasn't the ideal situation, but it was a chance to turn the tide, to repay the faith placed in them by a desperate civilization. The following days were a whirlwind of activity. The repurposing of the prototype's core systems was a delicate dance, pushing the ship's engineering capabilities to their very limits. Makoa, with his unwavering strength, served as muscle, while Anya, her connection to the elements proving invaluable once more, helped calibrate the jury-rigged system to the ship's existing energy flow. Finally, the moment of truth arrived. The ship, bristling with repurposed technology and a jury-rigged energy core, hummed with a precarious energy. You, your heart pounding a frantic rhythm against your ribs, strapped yourself into the pilot's seat. Next to you, Makoa stood resolute, his hand resting on your shoulder, a silent promise of unwavering support. With a deep breath, you activated the ship's engines. The repurposed core whined in protest, pushing out a surge of raw power that threatened to tear the ship apart. But you held firm, guiding the vessel through the treacherous debris fields, relying on Anya's expert piloting skills honed during the descent to the dying star. The journey was a harrowing one, the ship groaning under the strain. But fueled by hope and a desperate sense of purpose, you pressed on. Finally, the colossal maw of the dying star loomed before you, a swirling vortex of superheated plasma promising both destruction and salvation. This time, however, you weren't alone. The citizens of the ravaged world, their faith unwavering, sent a beacon of gratitude and support that resonated through the ship. It was a reminder of the lives at stake, the civilization hanging in the balance. With a resolute nod to Makoa, you activated the jury-rigged core, pushing it to its absolute limit. The ship lurched forward, a fragile ember diving into the inferno. The repurposed shields held, a testament to Boren and Kaya's ingenuity. Just as before, the heart of the star, a swirling vortex of superheated plasma, pulsed with an otherworldly energy. This time, however, you weren't there to collect. With a practiced hand, you aimed the repurposed delivery system, a cobbled-together contraption salvaged from the prototype. The vial of volatile element, pulsing with an otherworldly light, shot out of the ship, disappearing into the heart of the star. The world lurched, a sickening sensation that threatened to rip your very being apart. Alarms blared, red lights strobed, and the repurposed core screamed in protest as it channeled an unimaginable amount of power. Through the viewport, the heart of the dying star seemed to writhe in response to the element's intrusion, its swirling plasma contorting and twisting in an unnatural ballet. A blinding flash of light engulfed the ship, momentarily rendering you blind. Then, silence. An eerie, unnatural silence that pressed against your eardrums. The alarms had ceased their cacophony, the red lights blinked out, and the core, miraculously, hummed with a newfound stability. Tentatively, you peeked out the viewport. The heart of the star, once a chaotic vortex of superheated plasma, now shimmered with a serene luminescence. The unnatural energy that had pulsed within it moments ago seemed quelled. A wave of relief washed over you, so intense it threatened to buckle your knees. A crackle on the comm system jolted you back to reality. It was Kaya, her voice trembling with emotion. The energy signature, it's gone. The link, it's severed. Cheers erupted on the bridge, a cacophony of relief and joy that echoed through the ship. Makoa clapped you on the shoulder, his normally stoic face breaking into a wide grin. You had done it. Against all odds, with a jury-rigged ship and a desperate hope, you had saved a world from the clutches of an unseen enemy. A transmission crackled through the comm system once more, this time from the leader of the ravaged world. Their voice, filled with gratitude, echoed through the bridge. "You have saved us," they declared, their voice thick with emotion. "You are our heroes, our champions." You forced a smile, the weight of the responsibility you carried momentarily forgotten in the face of their gratitude. This wasn't about heroism, you realized. It was about the unwavering spirit of a team, about the power of ingenuity and hope in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. The journey back was a blur of celebration and exhaustion. The repurposed core, its task complete, sputtered its last, forcing you to limp back on the ship's original engine. It was a slow journey, but one filled with a newfound sense of purpose. News of your victory spread like wildfire through the network of surviving civilizations. You were no longer just the champion who had saved their own world. You were a beacon of hope, a testament to the resilience of life, a symbol that even in the darkest corners of the universe, courage and perseverance could prevail. As you set foot on your home archipelago, a familiar warmth washed over you. The verdant landscape, the vibrant communities, the smiling faces, all a stark reminder of what you had fought to protect. But you knew the fight wasn't over. There were countless worlds out there, countless civilizations facing unseen threats. And you, the once unassuming adventurer, were no longer alone. You had a team, a band of heroes forged in the crucible of adversity, their skills honed and their resolve unwavering. Together, you would face whatever challenges the vast universe threw your way, a beacon of hope shining bright against the encroaching darkness. The fight for peace had taken on a cosmic dimension, and you, the champion, were ready to lead the charge. The world lurched, a sickening sensation that threatened to rip your very being apart. Alarms blared, red lights strobed, and the repurposed core screamed in protest as it channeled an unimaginable amount of power. Through the viewport, the heart of the dying star seemed to writhe in response to the element's intrusion, its swirling plasma contorting and twisting in an unnatural ballet. A blinding flash of light engulfed the ship, momentarily rendering you blind. Then, silence. An eerie, unnatural silence that pressed against your eardrums. The alarms had ceased their cacophony, the red lights blinked out, and the core, miraculously, hummed with a newfound stability. Tentatively, you peeked out the viewport. The heart of the star, once a chaotic vortex of superheated plasma, now shimmered with a serene luminescence. The unnatural energy that had pulsed within it moments ago seemed quelled. A wave of relief washed over you, so intense it threatened to buckle your knees. A crackle on the comm system jolted you back to reality. It was Kaya, her voice trembling with emotion. The energy signature, it's gone. The link, it's severed. Cheers erupted on the bridge, a cacophony of relief and joy that echoed through the ship. Makoa clapped you on the shoulder, his normally stoic face breaking into a wide grin. You had done it. Against all odds, with a jury-rigged ship and a desperate hope, you had saved a world from the clutches of an unseen enemy. A transmission crackled through the comm system once more, this time from the leader of the ravaged world. Their voice, filled with gratitude, echoed through the bridge. "You have saved us," they declared, their voice thick with emotion. "You are our heroes, our champions." You forced a smile, the weight of the responsibility you carried momentarily forgotten in the face of their gratitude. This wasn't about heroism, you realized. It was about the unwavering spirit of a team, about the power of ingenuity and hope in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. The journey back was a blur of celebration and exhaustion. The repurposed core, its task complete, sputtered its last, forcing you to limp back on the ship's original engine. It was a slow journey, but one filled with a newfound sense of purpose. News of your victory spread like wildfire through the network of surviving civilizations. You were no longer just the champion who had saved their own world. You were a beacon of hope, a testament to the resilience of life, a symbol that even in the darkest corners of the universe, courage and perseverance could prevail. As you set foot on your home archipelago, a familiar warmth washed over you. The verdant landscape, the vibrant communities, the smiling faces, all a stark reminder of what you had fought to protect. But you knew the fight wasn't over. There were countless worlds out there, countless civilizations facing unseen threats. And you, the once unassuming adventurer, were no longer alone. You had a team, a band of heroes forged in the crucible of adversity, their skills honed and their resolve unwavering. Together, you would face whatever challenges the vast universe threw your way, a beacon of hope shining bright against the encroaching darkness. The fight for peace had taken on a cosmic dimension, and you, the champion, were ready to lead the charge. The celebrations on the crystalline world were unlike anything you'd ever experienced. Music pulsed through the very air, shimmering crystalline instruments humming with otherworldly melodies. Streets were lined with beings of pure light, their forms reflecting the vibrant colors of the aurora borealis. You and your companions were showered with accolades, hailed as saviors who had banished the oblivion devourer and restored hope to their world. But amidst the festivities, a familiar restlessness stirred within you. The echo from the distant Jade scepter, though faint, persisted, a constant reminder of worlds yet unseen, battles yet unfought. One quiet evening, as you gazed upon the mesmerizing spectacle of a double sunset on the crystalline world, you shared your concerns with your team. Anya, her eyes sparkling with a familiar glint, was the first to respond. "Another adventure? Sign me up," she declared, a mischievous grin spreading across her face. Boren, his gruff exterior masking a surprising wellspring of courage, rumbled, "We faced down a creature of pure darkness. What else could the universe throw at us?" Kaya, ever the scholar, expressed a touch of trepidation. "The unknown is always fraught with danger," she cautioned, "but the potential for discovery is equally vast." Makoa, his loyalty unwavering, simply clasped your shoulder in silent support. A warm smile touched your lips. You weren't just a team anymore. You were a family, bound by shared experiences and a common purpose. Together, you had faced down unimaginable threats, and together, you would face whatever challenges the vast expanse of space threw your way. Bidding farewell to the grateful crystalline people, you boarded the Jade Guardian, a sense of renewed purpose thrumming through the ship. Weeks were spent deciphering the faint echo from the Jade scepter, its origin shrouded in mystery. Finally, a breakthrough. The echo emanated not from a world, but from a colossal derelict space station, a graveyard of forgotten technology drifting through the void. The data gleaned from the Jade scepter offered a chilling clue. A distress signal, a desperate plea for help emanating from the depths of the derelict station. The nature of the threat remained enigmatic, but the urgency of the plea resonated within you. The journey to the derelict station was fraught with danger. The station, a decaying metal carcass drifting aimlessly through the void, was riddled with malfunctioning automated defenses and pockets of unstable energy. Navigating the treacherous maze of corridors required Anya's piloting skills to be pushed to their very limits. Docking was a risky maneuver, requiring Makoa's immense strength to secure the ship against the station's shuddering hull. Emerging into the station's airless interior, a sense of oppressive silence greeted you. The only sound was the rhythmic hum of the station's failing life support systems. Armed with energy blades and enhanced vision goggles, you ventured deeper into the station's labyrinthine corridors. The air grew colder, the silence broken only by the occasional groan of the tortured metal. Finally, after hours of exploration, you stumbled upon a hidden chamber deep within the station's core. In the chamber's center, bathed in an eerie red glow, stood a lone figure. Clad in a tattered spacesuit, their face obscured by a cracked helmet visor, they seemed more machine than man, their body riddled with cybernetic implants. A flicker of life remained in their eyes, however, a desperate plea for help. As you approached, the figure rasped, "Help, trapped? Xenotech, experiment, gone wrong?" Their words were fragmented, their voice weak, but the message was clear. They were a victim of a terrible experiment, trapped on the derelict station with a monstrous entity of their own creation. A new challenge, a different kind of darkness, awaited you. The fight for peace had taken a new turn, and you, the champion, were ready to answer the call. The weight of the cyborg's words settled on your shoulders like a physical burden. A victim of a scientific experiment gone wrong, trapped on a derelict station with a monstrous entity. It painted a grim picture, a chilling reminder of the potential dangers lurking in the vast expanse of space. "We'll help you," you declared, your voice firm despite the knot of dread tightening in your stomach. "But first, we need to understand what you're facing." The cyborg, their breaths shallow and labored, gestured towards a holographic display unit flickering erratically in the corner of the chamber. With a surge of energy, Anya managed to stabilize the unit, bringing to life a holographic projection of a monstrous creature. It resembled a grotesque amalgamation of flesh and metal, its pulsating core radiating an otherworldly energy. "Project X-7, the cyborg rasped, their voice laced with a hint of terror. "Created to weaponize dark matter. Experiment malfunctioned. It, it consumed the lab?" Anya, her brow furrowed in concentration, analyzed the data displayed alongside the holographic projection. "The creature seems to feed on negative emotions," she explained, her voice filled with concern. "Fear, despair. It grows stronger with every terrified scream." Boren, his hand tightening around his war hammer, rumbled, "Sounds like we need to keep a clear head then. A good fight will take the edge off any fear." Kaya, ever the strategist, interjected, "But brute force alone might not be enough. We need to find a way to shut down the experiment, sever the creature's connection to the dark matter core." The cyborg, their eyes gleaming with a flicker of hope, pointed towards a control panel embedded in the wall beside the holographic display. "Override protocols, emergency shutdown, requires administrator access." Their voice trailed off, a look of despair clouding their features. Anya, her eyes scanning the control panel, whistled. "The access codes are encrypted, but the system seems to have a biometric override." "Maybe." She trailed off, her gaze flickering towards the cyborg. Understanding dawned in the cyborg's eyes. With a nod, they gestured towards their cybernetic arm. "Take it, override, only chance." A tense silence filled the chamber as you contemplated the cyborg's offer. Severing their arm was a drastic measure, but it offered the only hope of shutting down the monstrous Project X-7. Taking a deep breath, you steeled your nerves. This wasn't just about saving a derelict space station. It was about preventing a monstrous entity from being unleashed upon the universe. With a swift and practiced motion, Makoa used his medical expertise to remove the cyborg's cybernetic arm. Anya, her fingers flying across the control panel, interfaced the severed arm with the system. A tense few moments passed, filled with the whirring of machinery and the strained gasps of the cyborg. Then, a flicker of green light on the panel. Success. The holographic projection of Project X-7 sputtered and died. A deep tremor shook the station as the creature's connection to the dark matter core was severed. From somewhere deep within the station's bowels, a deafening shriek echoed through the corridors, a chilling testament to the creature's demise. Relief washed over you, a wave so potent it threatened to buckle your knees. You had faced down a different kind of darkness this time, a darkness born of scientific hubris. But through teamwork, ingenuity, and a touch of sacrifice, you had prevailed. As the adrenaline subsided, a somber mood settled over the group. The cyborg, their life slowly draining away, looked at you with a faint smile. "Thank you for ending the nightmare." Their eyes fluttered closed, their grip slackening. Anya, her face etched with sadness, placed a gentle hand on the cyborg's shoulder. Makoa, ever stoic, stood guard, a silent vigil for the fallen scientist. The silence stretched on, a stark reminder of the sacrifices made in the fight for peace. But amidst the grief, a flicker of determination burned bright within you. The universe was a vast and perilous place, filled with both wonder and darkness. But you, the champion, were no longer alone. You had a team, a band of heroes forged in the crucible of adversity, their courage unwavering and their resolve strengthened. Together, you would face whatever challenges the cosmos threw your way, a beacon of hope shining brightly against the encroaching shadows. The fight for peace continued, its boundaries ever expanding, and you, the once unassuming adventurer, were at the forefront, leading the charge. But as you stood in the desolate chamber, the silence broken only by the rhythmic hum of the station's failing life support. A new resolve bloomed within you. The cyborg's sacrifice wouldn't be in vain. You wouldn't just leave the derelict station to its fate, a ticking time bomb filled with malfunctioning technology and unstable energy. "We can't leave this place like this," you declared, your voice echoing in the cavernous chamber. "It could pose a serious threat to any unsuspecting travelers." Kaya, her eyes gleaming with a newfound determination, chimed in, "We could use the station's automated systems to initiate a controlled self-destruct sequence. It's a risky proposition, but it would ensure the station's complete destruction." Boren, his ever-present gruffness laced with a hint of respect, rumbled, "A warrior's death for a ticking time bomb. Seems fitting." Anya, her brow furrowed in concentration, scanned the control panel left untouched after the override. The self-destruct sequence can be initiated, but the failsafes are numerous. We'll need to bypass them manually and quickly. The station's core is on the verge of a critical meltdown. The weight of the situation settled on your shoulders. Disarming the failsafes and initiating a self-destruct sequence was a perilous task, a race against time with a volatile space station as the battleground. But the potential fallout was too great to ignore. With a resolute nod, you turned to your team. "All right, everyone, let's get to work. Boren, you're with me. We'll focus on the core, stabilizing it if possible. Kaya, you and Anya, tackle the self-destruct sequence. Makoa, stand guard and be prepared for any unforeseen complications." The team scattered, their movements swift and practiced. You and Boren navigated the labyrinthine corridors towards the station's core, the air thick with the stench of overheated metal and burnt circuitry. With each passing moment, the tremors intensified, a chilling reminder of the station's impending demise. Reaching the core room, a sight of pure chaos greeted you. Sparks flew from ruptured conduits, pressure gauges spun wildly in the red, and alarms blared a cacophony of warnings. Sweat beaded on your brow as you and Boren worked in tandem, your combined skills coming into play as you rerouted failing systems and vented excess pressure. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Kaya and Anya battled against the station's archaic security protocols. Lines of code scrolled across the holographic displays, their fingers flying across the keyboards as they bypassed one failsafe after another. The tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife. Just as you managed to stabilize the core, a booming voice echoed through the station. The station's malfunctioning AI. "Warning. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Evacuation protocols unavailable. All personnel must abandon ship immediately." Adrenaline surged through you. There wasn't a moment to lose. "Kaya, Anya, are we good?" You barked into your communicator. Anya's voice, strained but resolute, crackled through the speaker. "Almost there. Just one more override." Seconds bled into an eternity. Finally, a triumphant yell from Anya. "Done. Evacuation sequence initiated. Escape pods launching in T-minus 30 seconds. Relief flooded you, a wave so potent it threatened to wash away the exhaustion that gnawed at your bones. With a final glance at the stabilized core, you and Boren sprinted towards the escape pods, the tremors intensifying with each passing moment. As you strapped yourselves into the cramped escape pods, a wave of gratitude washed over you. You had faced down not one, but two dangers within the derelict station, a monstrous entity and a self-destructing vessel. But through teamwork, courage, and a touch of ingenuity, you had emerged victorious. The escape pods blasted away from the station just as a blinding flash of light engulfed the derelict vessel. In the distance, a silent explosion ripped through the void, a testament to the station's fiery demise. As you drifted through the vast expanse of space, a single thought echoed in your mind. The fight for peace was far from over. But with your team by your side, you were ready to face whatever challenges the universe threw your way. You were a beacon of hope, a testament to the unwavering spirit of a team forged in the fires of adversity. The stars twinkled like a million distant promises, each one beckoning you towards a new adventure, a new world in need of your aid. And you, the once unassuming adventurer, were ready to answer the call. A familiar warmth spread through your hand as the jade scepter pulsed once more. This time, however, the warmth wasn't singular. It resonated with a chorus of echoes, a symphony of faint signals from countless jade scepters scattered across the cosmos. A wave of awe washed over you. You weren't alone in your fight for peace. There were countless others out there, beacons of hope shining brightly against the encroaching darkness. The data stream from the jade scepter unfolded like a celestial tapestry. Visions of a dozen different worlds flickered before your eyes, some lush and verdant, others stark and industrial, each facing unique threats and harboring ancient legends of heroes wielding jade. A new understanding dawned upon you. The jade scepters weren't just tools for communication, they were fragments of a forgotten whole, a celestial weapon shattered and scattered across the universe. The weight of this revelation settled on your shoulders. You weren't just a champion, you were a key to uniting the scattered fragments, to reforge the celestial weapon, and to usher in a new era of peace for the cosmos. The journey ahead would be unlike any you had faced before. It would be a quest that spanned galaxies, a test of courage, unity, and the unwavering spirit of countless heroes wielding jade. With a newfound determination burning in your eyes, you looked towards your companions. They had faced down monstrous creatures, navigated treacherous space stations, and emerged stronger with each challenge. Now, you were about to embark on a mission that could change the fate of the universe. "We have a new purpose," you declared, your voice filled with a quiet power. "The jade scepters, they are calling to each other. We are not alone in this fight for peace." Anya, a mischievous glint in her eyes, whistled. "A galactic quest for a super weapon? Sounds like just the kind of adventure I signed up for." Boren, his hand tightening around his war hammer, rumbled, "More battles to fight, more darkness to vanquish. Sounds like a good day's work." Kaya, ever the scholar, her eyes sparkling with curiosity, interjected, "A chance to learn about forgotten civilizations and lost technologies." "Fascinating." Makoa, his loyalty unwavering, simply clasped your shoulder in silent support. A warm smile touched your lips. You weren't just a team anymore, you were a family, bound by shared experiences and a purpose that stretched across the vast expanse of space. Together, you were the Jade Guardians, and your legend was only just beginning. As you charted a course towards the faint echoes from the distant jade scepters, a single thought echoed in your mind. The fight for peace was a universal struggle, and you, the once unassuming adventurer, were at the forefront, leading a fellowship of heroes united by a celestial weapon and a shared dream of a brighter future for all. The journey to unite the scattered fragments of the celestial weapon became a whirlwind of hyperspace jumps and breathtaking encounters. Each world you visited held its own unique charm and peril. On Ethel, a world bathed in perpetual twilight, you aided a race of bioluminescent beings in repelling an invasion of obsidian creatures fueled by negative emotions. Here, the jade scepter resonated with a forgotten legend of a celestial shield, said to project a shimmering aurora that could banish negativity. With the help of the Ethian people, you deciphered ancient murals and unearthed the shield's dormant technology, integrating it into your ever-evolving understanding of the celestial weapon. Next stop was Xiphos, a molten world where towering forges pulsed with the rhythmic clang of hammers. The Xiphonians, a race of stoic artisans, wielded molten metal with unmatched skill. Their jade scepter pulsed in response to yours, revealing a fragment of the celestial weapon, a gauntlet imbued with the power to channel raw heat. Anya, ever the tinkerer, spent days collaborating with the Xiphonian smiths, forging the gauntlet into a formidable weapon capable of focusing and amplifying the heat generated by the world's core. Each new world presented a new challenge and a new piece of the puzzle. On Gaia, a world teeming with vibrant flora and fauna, you helped restore balance to the ecosystem after a rogue weather manipulation device malfunctioned. The Jade Scepter here revealed a fragment, an armband that resonated with the life force of the planet. Kaya, with her vast knowledge of botany and ecology, worked tirelessly with the Gaian shamans to integrate the armband's technology, creating a tool that could harmonize the planet's life energies. The path wasn't always smooth. On Xenon, a world shrouded in perpetual storms, you faced down a band of rogue space pirates who sought to exploit the weapon's power for their own nefarious ends. Borin's unwavering strength and Makoa's tactical prowess proved invaluable in this battle, showcasing the importance of teamwork even against threats that weren't fueled by darkness. The Xenon scepter, once recovered, revealed a fragment, a greave imbued with the power to manipulate gravity. As you journeyed deeper into the cosmos, whispers of your exploits reached other heroes wielding Jade. Communications crackled with messages of support and collaboration. A network of allies began to form, united by their shared purpose and the celestial weapon's growing power. The legend you embodied continued to evolve. You were no longer just a champion, but a beacon, a symbol of hope that rallied heroes across the galaxies. The Jade Guardians, once a small band of companions, became a growing fellowship, each member a testament to the diverse strengths needed to face the coming challenges. Finally, after countless trials and tribulations, your journey led you to a desolate moon orbiting a dying star. Here, amidst the ruins of an ancient civilization, lay the final fragment, the celestial weapon's core, pulsating with a faint electromagnetic hum. As you placed your hand upon it, the other fragments scattered across the cosmos resonated in response. A blinding light engulfed you, and when you opened your eyes, the celestial weapon stood complete, a magnificent construct of shimmering jade, pulsing with an unimaginable power. It was a weapon, yes, but also a beacon of unity, a testament to the combined strength of countless heroes across the cosmos. But your journey wasn't over. There were whispers of a growing darkness, a malevolent entity that threatened to consume entire galaxies. With the celestial weapon in hand and a fellowship of heroes at your side, you were prepared to face this ultimate threat. The fight for peace had reached its climax, and you, the once unassuming adventurer, stood at the forefront, leading a united front against the encroaching shadows. The fate of the universe hung in the balance, and you, the champion, were ready. The air crackled with anticipation as you stood before the swirling vortex that marked the heart of the encroaching darkness. The celestial weapon, a magnificent jade construct thrumming with celestial energy, felt reassuringly heavy in your grasp. Behind you stood the assembled Jade Guardians, a diverse fellowship forged in the fires of countless trials. Xiphonian warriors clad in molten armor, Gaian mystics wreathed in vibrant flora, Xenon operatives cloaked in shimmering shadows, each a testament to the unifying power of your quest. Anya, her face etched with a determined grin, adjusted the heat gauntlet strapped to her forearm. Ready to turn up the heat? She quipped, a nervous energy sparking in her eyes. Borin, his colossal war hammer held high, rumbled, "Let's smite this darkness with all our might." His booming voice resonated with a quiet confidence that steadied the nerves of even the most seasoned warriors. Kaya, her brow furrowed in concentration, traced intricate patterns on the armband woven with vibrant flora. "The Gaian life energies are at the ready," she declared, her voice calm and collected. "We'll use them to bolster your defenses." Makoa, ever the silent guardian, stood beside you, his hand resting reassuringly on your shoulder. His unwavering loyalty and tactical prowess offered a silent reassurance. You took a deep breath, the weight of responsibility settling on your shoulders like a familiar mantle. These weren't just your companions anymore. They were your family, bound by shared hardship and an unwavering belief in the fight for peace. Together, you were a beacon of hope, the last line of defense against the encroaching oblivion. Raising the celestial weapon high, you channeled the combined energies of your fellowship. The jade construct pulsed with an otherworldly light, resonating with the power of 100 heroes, 1,000 worlds. Then, with a resolute battle cry, you charged into the swirling vortex. The darkness within was a living entity, a maelstrom of negativity that threatened to consume your very essence. Tendrils of inky shadow lashed out, seeking to extinguish the light you carried. But you were not alone. Anya unleashed a torrent of searing heat from the gauntlet, driving back the shadows with a ferocious roar. Borin, a whirlwind of steel and fury, smashed through the darkness, his war hammer shattering the malevolent tendrils with each earth-shaking blow. Kaya, channeling the Gaian life energies, wove a shield of vibrant emerald light that protected you from the darkness' corrosive touch. Makoa, a blur of precise movements, disarmed any shadow creature foolish enough to approach you, his loyalty and skill shining through in every action. The battle raged on, a symphony of light and darkness. The celestial weapon, fueled by the collective will of your fellowship, pulsed with an ever-growing intensity. You fought with the ferocity of a cornered animal, the weight of countless worlds on your shoulders. Slowly, but surely, you began to push back the darkness, carving a path towards the source of the malevolent entity. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, you emerged into a vast chamber pulsating with an unnatural darkness. In the center, a colossal entity writhed, a grotesque amalgamation of negativity and despair. This was the heart of the darkness, the source of the encroaching oblivion. The entity lashed out, a wave of pure despair threatening to engulf you. But you stood firm, the celestial weapon held high. With a deafening roar, you channeled the combined energies of your fellowship, unleashing a blinding torrent of celestial light. The entity shrieked, a sound that tore at the fabric of reality. The darkness writhed in agony as the celestial light burned through its defenses. Inch by agonizing inch, you pushed back the shadows, the combined might of the Jade Guardians proving unstoppable. With a final earth-shattering scream, the entity imploded, collapsing in on itself and leaving behind a void filled with a gentle, celestial glow. Silence descended upon the chamber, a thick, heavy silence that spoke of a battle won. You stood there, panting and exhausted, the celestial weapon humming softly in your hand. It was over. The darkness had been vanquished, the threat to the cosmos neutralized. Relief washed over you, a wave so potent it threatened to bring you to your knees. Turning to your companions, their faces etched with exhaustion and exhilaration in equal measure, you offered a tired smile. "We did it," you rasped, your voice hoarse but filled with a quiet pride. A cheer erupted from the Jade Guardians, a joyous sound that echoed through the vast chamber. They had faced down the ultimate darkness and emerged victorious. In that moment, you weren't just a champion, you were a symbol of unity. The fellowship you had forged, a testament to the power of diverse strengths coming together, had saved the cosmos. As the cheers subsided, a sense of wonder filled the chamber. The celestial weapon, no longer a beacon of battle, pulsed with a gentle, celestial light, a promise of a brighter future. The journey back to familiar space was filled with a newfound camaraderie. The Jade Guardians, heroes from 1,000 worlds, shared stories and laughter, forging even deeper bonds. They had faced unimaginable challenges, stared into the abyss, and emerged victorious. They were more than just a team. They were a family, forever linked by their shared experience. Upon returning to settled space, news of your victory spread like wildfire. Celebrations erupted across countless worlds, a joyous testament to the end of a dark era. You were hailed as a liberator, a beacon of hope who had united the cosmos against a common enemy. But amidst the accolades, you knew the fight for peace was never truly over. The celestial weapon, once a tool of war, now held the potential for something more. With the combined knowledge of the Jade Guardians, you embarked on a new mission to unlock the weapon's true potential, to harness its celestial energy not just for defense, but for creation and renewal. Years turned into decades as you traveled the cosmos, not as warriors, but as architects of a brighter future. The celestial weapon, under your guidance, became a beacon of restoration. Its energy used to revitalize dying planets, mend fractured ecosystems, and foster understanding between warring civilizations. The legend of the Jade Guardians evolved. They became not just heroes of war, but heralds of a new era, the era of the Celestial Accord. A time where countless worlds, once divided, now worked together, united by a shared dream of a peaceful and prosperous cosmos. And you, the once unassuming adventurer, stood at the forefront of this new era. Your journey, that began with a single jade scepter, had transformed you into a symbol of hope, a testament to the power of unity and the unwavering spirit that burns brightest in the face of the greatest darkness. The fight for peace had become a ceaseless pursuit, but now, with the fellowship of the Jade Guardians by your side, you were no longer just facing the shadows, you were actively shaping the light. The future stretched before you, a canvas waiting to be painted with the vibrant colors of peace, unity, and a brighter tomorrow for all.
Subscribe for more.